Day 25 of the Sean Diddy Combs trial. Woo! Got very interesting. Very interesting to say the least. So we need to address it. The drug mule is brought up to this trial. The drug mule is put on the stand. It has been a crazy, crazy day. This trial has taken everybody through the ringer. It really has. It has broken a lot of people. A lot of people are completely broken by this trial. Now, let's get into it. When they start talking about major issues, right? Because it's all been about issues. They taking over, a new jurors coming in and all of this. So they Diddy got to waive his immunity application or his rights to be present at the immunity application because Brendan Paul wants immunity before the U.S. closes and everything else. So that he's known as the Diddy drug mule. That's what they call him. The Diddy drug mule. Dun, dun, dun. So 9 a.m., the jury is still not brought in. The second juror issue came in. They said, anything before we bring in the jurors? And they said, well, let's get Mr. Combs in. I believe your client would like 10 minutes to review the materials. They said, well, can I ask him that question? Then they said, Mr. Combs has waived his right to an immunity application. So the judge said, let's begin. So they bring in Brendan Paul. And they said, did you receive a subpoena to be here? He says, yes. They say, do you intend to invoke the Fifth Amendment? He says, yes. He says, we propose the immunity order. And the judge said, I will enter it. Thank you, Mr. Paul. So Diddy is brought in by the marshals after that happens. So they said, we are ready to proceed. Let's have Agent Penland back, and he comes in, right? The jurors come in, and then they say, good morning. Let's get back to the London hotel. Who stayed in there that day? And Agent Penland comes in. Sean Combs, Cassie Ventura, Jules Theodore. They said, what are these Amex charges for? Because Penland's on the stand, of course, after they got Paul that was just for his immunity that he's going to do to say he's cleared to testify and everything else. So now they're back to Penland. They said, this Virgin American plane ticket for Jules Theodore. What airline is this associated with this charge? American Airlines from JFK to LA. And the hotel, Four Seasons, for Clayton Howard, a.k.a. Dave. Well, let's look at 6T108. What is this? It's a travel invoice. For Bad Boy Entertainment? Yes. What is this? A flight for Jules Theodore. What was that payment method? Amex card. And whose name is the invoice in? Mr. Phillips, Pines. $500 charge for damages to drapes. They said, okay, well, what is this? And they go right back to the looking at everything again, and they said, oh, this is booking for the Intercontinental in Times Square in the name of Frank Black. And this charge, damages to the penthouse, $46,786, paid to the MX. That monthly bill was paid by various accounts at Signature Bank. And they said, what's this charge? A hotel in Riverhead? What's that? Long Island, New York? Is that where the Hampton is? Yes. These communications, that's between Sean Combs and Cassie Ventura. It's color coded. What is this? A call from Combs to Ventura for 41 seconds. And AUSA said, let's read this. Skylar can come later. Let's do Skylar. Then Skylar responds to Ventura. Go to the side 4, please. And they go to the slide 4. And Skylar texts Cassie, what area? Then Skylar says, I'm laying head down. Hit me up if we are getting together tonight. They said, what does these boxes show? They said, these 3 photos taken by Ventura. What day is this? March 6, 2016. Walk us through it. Combs called Ventura, no answer. They said, Ventura calls Diddy, says, I checked with security, Jules left, you're good as long as you don't bother any other guests. Then unanswered calls came through. What does Combs text Cassie? He texts, call me, the cops are here. Then he call connects. Then they said, Cassie made calls to D-Rock, right? It connects. Combs called Ventura. There's no answer. This day is March 5th, 2016. Cassie texts, you are sick to think that it is okay to do what you have done. Please stay far away from me. I have a premiere. What does Mr. Combs text Ventura? He texts, call me, help. Then he texts, help me, I am about to be arrested. Then if you don't pick up, you will never hear my voice again. Then what? Call not answered. Then KK calls Ventura. Here. Ventura calls D-Rock, then KK, then calls connected. What does D-Rock text? D-Rock texts, tell him to get out of there before they arrest him. He's not picking up. What does Miss Ventura text to Combs? Going to bed. Now what Morgan says to Coram. Carrie Morgan writes, I don't think anyone should call her. And a photo of an LAPD detective business card. What's next? D-Rock and Christina Coram each call Cassie, then KKX, what is Eddie's last name? What does D-Rock text to Diddy? Cassie's good. She's eating breakfast. Then a 13-minute call, Combs and Ventura. What does Mr. Nash write to Cassie? What time can you today? Arturo's available from 3 to 4 p.m. Cassie said, Rock's place. Then Combs called Eddie Garcia. Garcia calls back. What does she does? Meaning Cassie Ventura. This was supposed to be a big day for me. Now I wish I could just stay in bed. And here, calls between Diddy and Eddie Garcia. What's this? A photo of Eddie Garcia's driver's license found on Christina Coram's phone. Now by March 9, 2016, what occurs? Combs calls Eddie Garcia. Then March 25th, 2016 at 1 p.m. Combs calls Eddie Garcia. Agent Penland, other than those charts, what did you have involvement in this case? Nothing. They were like, no further questions. So they come back, and now Tenny's coming in because she's the queen of evidence. So she's taking over, and she says, so you've been with SDNY for 10 years, right? Yes. Let's turn to this date. Did you know Cassie Ventura was in South Africa then? No. 12/8/9/15. You didn't try to find out who else was in this chat? I did not. You are a special agent? Yes. As a special agent, you know how to look for evidence, right? Objection. Sustained. So what she's pointing out is the fact that this guy's a special agent And he didn't try to find out all the parties that was in the text. He just wanted to find out Diddy and Cassie. Like, why wouldn't you want to find out who all the parties were? Right? So they're already saying agenda motivations, right? Let's turn to August of 2009. Under the name Sean Combs, you include several U.S. exhibits. Let's put this one up. August 5th, 2009. Mr. Combs says, when do you want to freak off? What does Miss Ventura say? I'm always ready to freak off. That's what he says. I'm always ready to freak off. They said, let's put this defensive exhibit up. Mrs. Ventura write, I'm so horny I can't concentrate. I'm going to Dwayne Reed. Pack us a bag. Did you include this in your chart? No, I didn't. Here, Jules write to Mr. Combs, I need rest. You guys are rabbits. And put a LOL, right? Yes. Here, Pop Pop writes to Cassie, I love you so much. You consume my life. How did this happen? And Cassie says, I wonder that too, right? Yes. Here, Jules write, Ventura, great to see you, beautiful. And then, I am at your door, right? Correct. Here, Miss Ventura writes, I am horny and bored, right? Yes. Here, Mr. Combs says to Cassie, I am not asking you to freak off. What do you want to do? And she says, I want to smoke, go for a walk. Let's go out and have some carefree fun. I'll go get the Valium, right? Yes. Mr. Combs, right? I like it when Jules was in the room next door. Did you include this? No. My job was not to add things, just to check is what was in there if it was correct. Mr. Combs writes, you're horny or sleepy. And she says, both. With an LOL. So they shut off the public screens and show these videos. And everybody gets to see Diddy in action, having sex. So it's some soothing piano music going on. They play the video. And they watched about, I think, until like minute 14. And they said, Your Honor, should we take a break? And they was like, how much longer do you have? And the guy, and Tenny said, an hour. I took longer than, they said, now then? So they took a break. When they come back from the break, that's when it hits another level. Because once they came back from the break, Miss Garagos, Tenny said, are you welcome to proceed? She said, as soon as Mr. Combs comes out. They had him in a holding cell. So they said they were conferring about another matter that they had in play. And they said, the court can't question the juror, we'll defer it. So they preferred the courtroom or the robbing room so that, Diddy can observe it. So they got back to the agent. And the agent, they said, all rise, we watched the video, now exhibit 1307. They said, this is a stipulation that the video was found under the Frank Black profile in the device provided by Cassie Ventura. Here, Mr. Combs wrote, coming to New York City this weekend. What does Miss Ventura reply? It's really nice here. Mr. Combs writes, I got us tickets from the Book of Mormon. That was not in your exhibit, was it? It was not. He writes, you ready for tonight? That's the day before the videos we looked at, right? Correct. They said, if we could pull up all what's already in evidence, please, this is not included in your chart, right? Correct. Miss Ventura writes, keep having sexy flashbacks of yesterday. You see that, right? Yes. What does Mrs. Ventura write? She writes, I bought the best sexy outfits for later and shoes. What does she write? She writes, I promise I will be the nastiest freaky bitch to make up for it. What does Miss Ventura write? She writes, can't buy Astro. It's too expensive. We should take it. When should I take it? Where is it? Mr. Combs writes, it's in the bag. It's the orange pill. What does Mrs. Ventura write here? She writes, I can't wait until we have a baby. Happy Father's Day. What did Mr. Combs write? What did you want to do, baby? I wish we could have a freak off before you left. Cassie said, I wish we could have a freak off before you left. Ooh, Tenny is killing them. They say, what does Miss Ventura write here? She writes, I hate it that I don't use protection when I get high. I'm going to get GNA tested or whatever. And they said, Mr. Combs write, let's freak off now then. And what did she write? Okay, what hotel? Mr. Combs writes, I'm locked in my bathroom talking to my therapist. What do you want to do? She writes, it takes Jules hours to get here. Hotels need you to call and give Dave access. Do you see Dave Shirley writes this to KK? Yes. You spoke on direct about Skylar, right? Yes. And the message about the cops are here. But there's no evidence of 911 calls, right? There is not. This photo of the detective's business card is the only thing about the police, right? Objection. Sustain. You indicated a call between Cassie and Diddy. Was that a FaceTime call? I don't know. No further questions. So they had a redirect. They was like, yes, I want a redirect. The hotel in Riverhead, who was there? Sean Combs, Cassie Ventura, and Clayton Howard. This photo, the wounds above the eye, so you can remember. Nothing further. And it was like, jurors, they was like, you guys could leave. You can go ahead and step out. We don't need to continue where this is going. They said, I don't think we'll rest on Wednesday. And they said, well, how long on direct to Brendan Paul? 90 minutes or so, and we'll both be offering cleanup exhibits. We have an application to close the courtroom so people can please leave. So they wanted to talk about this issue because all of this stuff that they didn't include, the government wanted to exclude it. Cassie is in all of this evidence that's being presented in these text messages. These are the most damaging text messages I've ever seen of Cassie being fully willing to do freak offs. She was all in. She was setting it up. She was calling. I'm so horny. She was, me so horny. Me not in long time. She was all in. So if somebody's all in, like she was, why they keep acting like Diddy was forcing her? When these text messages clearly is coming from somebody who ain't forced to do anything. It's almost crazy to even insinuate. And I mean that in all sincerity. It is almost crazy to insinuate that that was the goal. That's how out of the box it is. Diddy is so innocent, it's sickening. Diddy had drugs. What was it for? His personal use. Obviously. Cassie did drugs with him. They all got down and did drugs together. It was tragic, it was sad, but it was a necessary necessity. Mm-hmm. Very much so. They made Diddy guilty in the court of law of public opinion, but not in real time. This is the chart I've been working on that we did on my Patreon video for business. But the elements are a lot more damning and a lot more disturbing in this trial. Because, see, they didn't have to make the moves that everybody else did.
Uniquely expression.
Now, as we can see, this has led to a lot of confusion, a lot of misdirection, and a lot of people that's not really in the know, who was claiming to be in the know when it came to this evidence. So, because the court was adjourned yesterday, Judge Subramanian had not yet ruled on that potential breach involving the jury suspect of discussing the case with a former colleague. Until that is verified, the incident could undermine the integrity of the jury. So the decision is pending on that. So they're looking to end probably on Friday, and at the latest of closing it out the case. And then the defense said their case could last 2 to 5 trial days. They're still adjusting to what what the prosecution is doing. So the jury instructions may come like by a week from now. Now, the jurors were told not to discuss why jury number 6 was dismissed, only that they were excused. There also was a separate issue involving juror number 7. So after today's testimony, they're going to go into what happened with juror number 7. So all this case is starting to unravel. And they saying one or more people in this courtroom or those present on Friday flagrantly violated the court's orders. This is a flagrant violation of court orders. Violators will be punished, possibly with criminal contempt and sanctions. So the court imposed a gag order on the government, the defendant, all attorneys for the defense, and anyone involved. Everyone was made accountable. Violation of the order. What happened here may result in a civil or criminal contempt charge for all involved. The judge said he would be investigating it. He says, there is no passing the buck anymore. The buck stops with you. If anything happens, lead counsel is responsible. Now, when the trial is almost over, the judge is trying to grow balls. Diddy's lawyer said, we ready to move forward. So Penland was brought back to the stand. Agent Penland was brought back to the stand. And Agent Penland came up there. And what does Agent Penland look like? A skinny, frail, white woman with blonde hair who chose to exclude a lot of things off of the chart. Said she was only there to verify what they put down. That was their only job. Okay. So all of the things that was laid out before the entire globe to see. That's all they cared about. So in the summary chart, none of these things by Cassie was mentioned. How convenient that they keep taking things out of the summary chart. Y'all don't find that as strange? Why would this blonde, skinny white woman only put things in the chart about Diddy that fits what they like, but took out everything that Cassie was saying? Why wasn't it in the summary chart? I find that to be a pretty interesting topic. Apparently, there are some people that don't agree with me. They just think it's just a matter of, it don't even matter. Cassie said everything in those messages that would indicate that she was 100% a willing participant, that she was not as saved. D said Diddy has told her many times, you don't have to do free calls. What do you want to do today? They looked at the time frames. See, that's what you got to look at too. She said, these are not in the summary charts. Yet, some of these text messages were sent around the same time as the meetings listed on the charts involving escorts. Ventura and Combs, correct? Yes, the time frames match up in some cases. Right? She said, well, let's look at the meeting. Listed in July of 2012. Cassie is listed, but Sean Diddy Combs is not. Why is that? I didn't have direct evidence linking Mr. Combs to that specific meeting. But you did find messages between Cassie and someone saved as Islander LA, right? Yes. And those messages, Ventura asked if he was available and told him to quickly come because she had to catch a flight. So they said, all right, well, let's go to August 2009. Under the name Sean Combs' name you listed, several government exhibits. Let's look at one on August 5th, 2009. He writes, when do you want to do a freak off? And she replies, I'm always ready to freak off. I'm always ready to freak off. Why are we here? Aha, he said, who said Cassie was innocent? That's not the question. Yes, it is. You see, because if Cassie's not innocent, then what are we doing here? They're trying to paint her as innocent. The question is, if this isn't an innocent woman and Diddy's not an innocent man, are they both criminals? Is that what you're trying to say? Where's the New York crime if there's no Cassie? Where's the raid? All of this was built around the Cassie case. Not off Don Richards, not off Mia, not about all these other people who are claiming to be witnesses to the debauchery that supposedly happened to Cassie, and not Diddy's ex-girlfriend, Jane. Not his assistant, Mia. None of these people they considered credible, except for Cassie. She's what they would call a star witness. Now, that this has been presented, oh, everybody see what this is now. Why do you think it wasn't in the summary chart? Why do you think it was excluded from the summary chart? Did you think that was the ideal thing to do? Seriously. If we're going to take something out of the summary chart, let's take out a statement that says Cassie is saying, I'm always ready to freak off. Can't have that. Because that gets you into the trafficking. That gets you into the force. That gets you into all these other things that they want to try to push. Knowing they don't have legs. That this is a consensual relationship. And as it went more and more, the people that was on the fence who started listening to the case saying, hey, this is some bull. It's like, oh, for real? Well, that's how it works usually. You want to make sure you stay level-headed at all times. That's what you want. Mm-hmm. A 100% on the level. Because the world can see you. They can tell when someone's being authentic and when someone's lying. Mr. Clean, Mr. Glenn, they did cross. This is the cross. And they was excellent. When Tenny said, here's a message from Jules to Mr. Combs saying, I need rest. You guys are rabbits. Mm-hmm. Right. And she said, well, let's look at this. And here, Miss Ventura writes, I'm horny and bored, correct? Yes. Mr. Combs writes, I like it when Jules is in the room next door. Did you include this in the chart? Nope. My role was to verify the accuracy of the charted information, not to add new material. So, right there, this person who works for the government, their job was just to verify is that the information provided by the prosecution was valid. It wasn't their job to add or validate to find out who else was in there. The government didn't want that. They only wanted the people they wanted to. And whoever that person is, well, let's exclude that. So what they wanted to do was send you an edited version of conversation to try to convict a man and throw him in jail for the rest of his life. They want to give you edited versions because they know the real version, it exonerates him. What Tenny doing is reading what should have been on his chart, well, on her chart. Cookies and milk. Now, they watched the sex tape with Diddy and Cassie and a sex worker
Hey, what's up, everybody?
for 14 minutes. For 14 minutes straight. Well, longer than that, actually. And they told everybody, if y'all need a smoke break after that, mm-hmm. No. It's an alarming fact that a lot of these people are not prepared to deal with. There's a lot of lies that's been told. Yeah, because when you tell a lie of such magnitude, there's many people that's going to come along and want to dissect everything that you say. So they have the proclivity to say things that are not usually, predicated. So when you start seeing people like make these observations that's supposed to be on fact, and Tenny just held them to they fit to the fire. Yeah, it was Cassie getting freaked off with Jules, the sex worker. So Cassie was getting down with the sex worker, and they shown partially to the jury. So they're watching this go down. So after that, they took a break so people can get themselves back situated after seeing something like that. Now, when they went through all of this case and they were saying, when Diddy says, I'm coming to New York this weekend, they was like, how did Cassie respond? It's really nice. I got us tickets for the Book of Mormon. They said that line wasn't included in your exhibit, was it? And she said, no, it wasn't. He also says, you ready for tonight? That's the big day before the video we just reviewed, correct? That's correct. Let's bring up page 18 of the exhibit, already in evidence. Was this part included in your summary chart? No, it wasn't. Again, something that was already in evidence, the government did not include it in a summary chart. Why wouldn't they include it? Because it hurts their goddamn case. They said Miss Ventura writes, keep having sexy flashbacks of yesterday. Do you see that? Yes, I do. And what else does she write? Then she says, I bought the best sexy outfits for laters and shoes. What did she say after that? I promise I will be the nastier freak bitch to make up for it. And what does Cassie Ventura says here? Can't buy Astro. It's too expensive. When should I take it? Where is this? And Diddy replies and tells her it's in the bag. It's the orange pill. And what does she write here? She says, I can't wait until we have a baby. Happy Father's Day. And Mr. Combs replies, what do you want to do today, baby? And she says, I hate that I don't use protection when I get high. I'm going to get tested. And Mr. Combs responds, hey, let's freak off now. And her reply was, okay, what hotel? This tells you right away that Cassie Ventura is all in. 100% all in with these freak-offs. Now, Teaser Tales and all these other people who've been making their bones off of Diddy, telling lies for money, they're gonna have to repent now. Because they're faced with a major problem here, buddy. And that problem is very simple. This is a relationship. That's all it is, folks. There's nothing to see here. It is just a flat out relationship. And unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, you guys have to deal with the fallout of the repercussions of a relationship. So everybody else didn't have to do that. The general public was taken on a ride. They decided to say, strap up, we're going on a ride. Because if they had this in evidence and they didn't include it, they were lying to you. They tried to deceive the court by not including those messages into the summary chart. Now again, just because it's not in the summary chart, there could be oops, I just missed that one. But no, it's submitted into evidence because if you can't omit it out of evidence. Because if you do, you've lost your case. Now, the fact that this wasn't in the summary chart is very alarming. And the agenda of the prosecution and the federal government should be on display, full display, because they knew what they were doing when they did it. It was malicious, and you're playing with a man's life. You're playing with his life. That's what he's faced with, life, and you're playing with it. Now you ask yourself, why wasn't those messages included? Cass is clearly asking for freak offs. Clearly in for it. Ain't nobody buying that I'm just trying to make him happy crap no more. No, you was all in, baby. You was all in for the ride. You wanted all the smoke. Nobody buying that no more. He could be so violent. I just wanted to do whatever he said. No, baby, you was loving them freak offs. You was, give me more, give me more. I want more. I want more. She wanted more. And she got it. They gave her more every time she asked for it. They said, well, what do you want here? More. Well, what do you want right here? More. Okay, well, what about this? More. She has no off button. Cassie Ventura continued on the more train. That's all she wanted to do. More. Every step she took, every decision that was made, Cassie Ventura always wanted more. Oh, it's not gossip, because this is actually happening in a trial, sir. So why is it gossip? They're playing sex videos in a trial. So how is that gossip? Now, we have been one of those people who look at situations and say, we got to give you the real, right? Because that's what the people expect. The people expect realism at all costs. You wouldn't want to deal with somebody that's fake, would you? Who would want to deal with somebody who's fake? I know I wouldn't. I couldn't stand it. But see, now you got a new problem that arose. They wanted to kick the black man out so much. They now the white man is in trouble. You got jury number 7 sharing information about what went on in the trial. They got to decide on what's going on with juror number 7 now. So this whole thing is falling apart. But they all want to turn around and blame Diddy. You see how crazy that is and how it sounds? You enter a case with no evidence of it being a criminal enterprise. You have no evidence that this is trafficking. It's in a relationship. You have no evidence of any of this. None. And all these fools talking about they proven RICO, they proven trafficking, they haven't proved jack it. They ain't proved no goddamn RICO. Listen to these crackpot lawyers. If they was real lawyers, they wouldn't be on TV. You got what they call entertainment lawyers. My lawyer was a real lawyer. I know people that ain't involved in this case that have worked with Diddy. I'm trying to get this dude to go on the record. I did business with him in 2009. When I was in Las Vegas. I still probably got video of that. I was in Vegas in 2009. And I was still doing work with him and Dave. In 2009, I was booking and arranging their schedules. They knew at that time what would become of any scenario that didn't have Diddy in a great light. They already said it. They said it's not gonna work. They said anything that would take Diddy down in that situation. This was back in 2009. So in 2009, all of this was on the table. The conversations, all of it. And you want to know what happened? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Diddy had a business investment in 2009 that I can't even tell y'all about because this trial is going on. When this trial is over, buddy boy, we gonna talk about Dave, we gonna talk about Richard, and we'll go into that whole situation. That's why y'all better sign up for the Patreon, because it's gonna be hot. Hot, hot, hot. Because of the trial, I'm not talking about it. I would blow up the internet if I start revealing all this stuff. I'm waiting till the trial over. So when the trial is over, and you hear what I got to say, like you'll be surprised how all my stuff is ending up in the trial. The government came after my channel. Remember they was coming after my channel, recording my live streams? That's what they were doing. The government was recording my live streams. Trying to see who am I, why am I saying these things? So they can monitor everything that I'm doing when it comes to Diddy. One travesty after another travesty equals a lifetime of nonsense. What is it, the breaks? They hurt your feelings, they don't want to wear with them no more. Okay. But no, y'all didn't give Diddy a fair trial. And because y'all not giving him a fair trial, this is not included in the summary charts, is alarming. That speaks volume. Because if it's not in the charts, why is it there? How can you sit there and have 3 people in the room, and on the day that you got Diddy was there, right? That y'all got it for the sex or with freak off or whatever. Here you got a conversation with Cassie and you don't have Diddy there. You got what Cassie is saying, but you don't have Diddy there. And you didn't investigate to find out who all was in the chat. And you're a special investigator. Investigator is in your title job. And you don't investigate to see who's all on the chat. That's negligent. You want me to believe that you're just so inept at your job that y'all gonna make 14, 15, maybe even more mistakes. Once is a coincidence. Several is not. It's deliberate. They deliberately are screwing this man up. And the reason that they're deliberately doing it, just like they deliberately going after this live stream, is because they already know. They already know what I know. The fight is fixed. They've been set up. And that's what everybody gonna say, man, they set me up, man. I didn't know they was gonna do that. They got set up. Listen. Y'all like hip hop, right? Y'all all have y'all votes on who y'all think is the best rapper and all that, right? So, y'all all vote on who the best rapper. Is it Lil Wayne? Is it all this, right? You all have your various opinions. But when you go to debate, you bring your best to defend your artist on why you think they're the best. Right? That only makes sense. Why do you feel this artist is the best? And then here they come, right? They start telling you why they feel that that artist is the best. Then something happens. And you no longer feel that way. Because someone presented enough evidence to change your mind. How often does that happen? Almost never. That person could have a better argument, more evidence, whatever. You're not going to change who's your best artist because it's about what you think. You're going to still ride with them, no matter how much they disprove everything. Right? So if you already didn't like Diddy, you don't care if he did it or not. You're not going to like Diddy, so you're going to think he guilty any goddamn way. So it don't even make a difference of changing your mind because it don't even matter. You think he guilty anyway. Now, yeah, they're recording this live stream right now. And while you're recording, government, you doggone saboteurs, you guys don't know a thing about justice or the law. All you do is break the law and claim you enforce it. You're not the law. None of you at the prosecution. If y'all are listening to this, you are not the law. Your job is to uphold the law. But you're not the law. So y'all problem is y'all believe you are, which leads to all this conflict. Stop trying to sabotage and take down black men. This attack on black men is not going to be tolerated. No more. We watched y'all with Jonathan Majors. We saw what happened there in New York. We not having it no more. All them cowards that was out there, we saw what happened. We're not allowing it no more. Everybody's gonna have to stand down now. We're tired of it. Yes, we're tired of it. It's played out. Like right now, they blocking y'all comments. They froze them. So I can't even see them right now. See the games they playing? There he goes. Now I can see y'all comments. You see what I'm saying? I had to get out, go back in. You're right. White fatigue. We tired. We ain't taking it no more. It's time to move on. It's time to get rid of these clowns. I'm sick of it. I am completely sick of it. Jonathan Majors was the last straw. And to watch how I was more disgusted at how black people acted in that moment. And how none of these so-called black Hollywood people, the billionaire brunch, y'all didn't even go and surround that man. Y'all did not build around him and say, hey, y'all ain't finna get him. Michael B. Jordan stood back. I mean, way back. And only recently, once the case got reversed, did he come out and actually make a statement about Michael B. Jordan? I mean, about Jonathan Majors. Talking about, oh, he believed in him, he would work with him, and all this stuff. Meanwhile, they black man's career. Who the biggest movies in 2023. Y'all wanted to bankrupt this man. Take everything he had. Stop the man from working. He can never get a job again. It's like, what? Everybody on MCU then did something and got themselves approved or changed. Man, it was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was pissed. So black people, they disgusted me how they didn't come and protect them. And I was like, now white folks know they got you right where they want you. They got you right where they want you. They don't want you there with them. They got you by the gonads. You are not on their level now. They got you. You ready to turn against yours? I want y'all to see something. See these homes here? They look like little small regular houses. Hell, my house is bigger than this house. This house is worth way more than anything you could ever imagine. And do you want to know why? All of these little bitty homes are worth anything. They're worth almost 3 times. These are multi-million-dollar homes. And you're like, what? This house is worth that? No way, Cino. That little bitty house. $1 million homes, buddy. You will be vetted all up and down just to get there. These little bitty homes is worth millions. 1.2 with the land included. 1.2, 2.3. Oh, somebody took care of them. They got them bots out of here. Now, the reason why all of that is jacked up to the ceiling is because right around the corner is where the Chicago Bulls, Chicago Bears, Blackhawks, even some Whitehawks, all of these players and athletes, they live. Their wives, their kids, they're all here. So they're gonna vet anybody that lives over here in these little bitty homes. So if you've already had a house over here before they started building, and they're still building, this is how new this area is. They're still building. Not over here, necessarily. Oh, they're building on the next street. Well, let's show you the next street. You see, that was back there. Now, what I'm gonna do is take you to the next main street. Because all the property value shot up $300,000, $400,000 the moment they started building. I almost lived over here. That house there was almost mine. This house on the corner. I almost bought that house. Instead of the house I got, I almost bought that house. I didn't like the idea of having a house on the corner. Go ahead. I didn't like the fact of that. That's the only reason I didn't get the house. But now, everything's changed forever. You can't go back to the way things used to be, because it's forever changed. Yeah, they got my car, the place that detailed my car is over here. So I was like, man, this is perfect. This is right where I need to be. Nah, not really, buddy. This street is all car dealerships and all main stores. This is how I ran into a Chicago Bulls player. He was with his family shopping, buying groceries. He's a role player. He's not even on the damn team no more. But he played on the Bulls. This is the next street. All of this is new, buddy. They built new grocery stores. They built everything in the area. They got a Lowe's, everything. And it's called The Landing. Now, as you come around this new area, we're gonna give you the scenic route. This is the next street over, buddy. And being on the next street over, let's start here. First turn. Let's just go down here. And go down to Lakeview. Now in this area, they're still building on this, so that people would get the idea of what they're trying to do here is build a community for themselves. You know, a lot of people got family in the NBA who don't play sports. Their family is just regular people. But the athlete pays their bills and builds their houses for them. So as you can see, these homes cost 1.2, 1.7, 2.5. Baby mamas live here. They got rare dogs that costs about $500,000. The former general managers here. Then you have all of these other different people who have no keen idea as to what's going on. So if you look at these homes, right, they don't look that spectacular, right? But the worth is through the roof. So they're going to gentrify the area based on how much you make. So this Indian man can stay here with the daughter, the kids, you know, the kids here going to Michigan. Look at them. Look at that patio set, the pool, everything. Now, this is where you would want your kids in the community to go, right? Are they gonna go to the regular rec area for the playgrounds? Kids gonna play no matter if they rich kids or poor kids, right? But rich kids are gonna come over here. You see? They're gonna be over here in the playgrounds. They got a whole community area decked out just for them. And it's all the way in the back, in the woods where nobody can know or go. Only for these rich kids. So they could play with other rich kids. So they're gonna gentrify areas. Now, this is where their kids play baseball. Here, in this park. Totally ostracized from the general public. And then you have the American Indians. They come through and they decided to play cricket. They're doctors, lawyers. They make about $600,000-700,000 a year per family at a minimum. So everything that they put in, yes, these Patels, they come out and they play their cricket games. They bring out their luxury. So they have a community for themselves. And if anybody was to disrespect or to be ostracized, they will come after them. So what I'm putting you up on is game. If they're gonna make a community for themselves, how did they do it? Right? They went and got with the people who lease these places. They're saying, hey, we're not gonna bring down the property value. Do you think they don't have large families? No, they take care of their property. They make sure their houses are clean. They make sure everything is taken care of. They come out here and they support and they show love to those players that's out here in the game. So the situation always calls for some type of response. But everybody is separated by groups of income. It's like a clergy system, a hierarchy. If you make X amount of dollars, you can go here. It's the monopoly board. Like the people on Park Place and Boardwalk, they're not going to be hanging out with the people on Illinois Avenue. Okay, Diddy is Boardwalk and Park Place. Diddy is not going to be in Illinois. Now he'll go to Atlantic, but he ain't gonna go to Illinois Avenue. He ain't gonna be on that board, on that side. He's skipping all that. So that was one tier that you just saw. Where you saw the doctors and the lawyers and the 600,000 and 700,000 salaries. Now you're ready for the main tier, right? Which is right around the corner. This is where the Bulls, NBA, multi-million-dollar homes, the estates. That's a Chicago Bulls player's home right there. Where he lives right next to the Chicago Blackhawks player. That's their home, their little Tesla over here. And remember I told you this is all brand new. Look, they're still building. Right around the corner. So this whole lot, they're building this person's house. It's already built. And it's already getting completed. You can see this, right? Now, how Casino get access to these multi-million-dollar homes? How Casino get passed over here? Because Casino is from the community. So Sino knows where everything is. He just chooses not to come here. I remember when they built this house at 1720. Shoot, I thought I was gonna buy one of these. I was like, man, I remember when they was building that. So these houses are less than 2 years old. This is multi-million-dollar homes. The Chicago Blackhawks players, let's stay over here. Some of them rent. Chicago Bears player owns this house right here, and he bought this house and he uses it as a rental. for players and stuff that come over here. He bought this home as a rental. It's getting built right now, lot 56. So lot 56, that's the one right there. They're still fixing it. He owns that house, and he's buying this one as a rental. So if the players are on the team and they want to stay at the house, he'll rent it out to certain players and let them stay there. He's not on the Bears. I don't know if he's on the Bears anymore, but he owns that house and he's buying that one. So everything is getting changed, moved around. It's an entirely different environment. There's so many different acts and rows of people. But this, you know what I'm saying? Then it's right around the corner. Right around the corner. But do you think you can live there? Just because you got the means? No. You have to get approved. So Diddy and all those people are in a group. And if those groups fall out with each other, guess what? You're knocked out of the group. You're not in that group no more. Now, I ain't big money Cino at one. When my investments get to where I want them to be, then I will be able to have that house. But until then, no. Because I don't need all that house. For just me, no. Now, those are the new boys on the block. What you would call the new millionaires. You know, tech guys. Those houses I just showed you, they just getting built. So them the new millionaires' homes. You know, them the new tech guys who do things and it's fast, they play sports. Now I'm going to take you to old money. Let's take you to old money. See, over here, they have a color scheme. Everything got to be one color, like a peach or a brownish. That's the only thing they will let you build your house as over here. And these people got old money. Old money. Which means they got it the old-fashioned way. They inherited it. These homes are insured by American Elite. These people got their money from the old stock markets, treasury bonds, and all that. Yeah, this old money. Old money still buy nice homes. But this is where the grandfathers live. They're rich kids. This old money. To leave the house to the kids, yeah, that's what this is. Every house over here is in the millions. This house is one of the richest houses on the block, 5.2 million. If you saw the back of that house, you would know why. It's one way in, one way out. Well, money is real, unfortunately. But money isn't everything. It just shows you it's a status of what they call caste. C-A-S-T-E. People could be the same race, but discriminate against you because of a hierarchy of where their family is ranked. Their family is high order. We're the same race, but your family was poor, mine is rich, so I'm better than you. That's what's called caste. And some countries are still ran like that. And India is like that. And these hierarchies is not even based on color. Just because some people are rich don't mean that they're sellouts. Some rich people were once poor. Some rich people who have never been poor give to the poor people because it enriches them. Because they envy the fact that, man, I don't know what that's like. I wish I had that feeling. I knew a rich guy like that. He had millions. He would never have to worry about money a day in his life. He's a trust fund baby. But he wanted to hang out with us and go places because he was like, man, you guys just live life, man. And, you don't have a chauffeur. Like, I wanted to buy my own car and drive. That was a big thing for him. To buy his own car and drive. He wanted to drive a car and have a license. And his dad was, I remember when I was young, I had a car. I drove. I wanted my independence. Driving a car to them is an accomplishment. That's how rich they were. It was ridiculous. But I'm not impressed by other people's money. I've been around Floyd Mayweather. He had nice things. He wanted to impress me with his nice things in his home. And I was like, man, that's cool. That's great. Because money is not what influences me. I'm not driven by money. Some people are driven by it. I'm not driven by money. I work hard to have money to pay for things because it's required for payment. But I'm not driven by it. I'm driven, if anybody know me, they would tell you, I'm driven by winning. I want to win. Like that's me. I am a competitor. So I compete naturally because I want to win. That's my thing in life. I will fight to the death because I want to win. That's my goals. Win. So money if I was all about money, I would have took every shortcut in the book that they threw at me. I'd have been like teaser tails on here, lying my ass off for money and views. I couldn't even look myself in the mirror after doing some shit like what she did. I mean, how could you eat after something like that? Seriously. How could you do that? I couldn't even eat my dinner if I saw that go down. But what did that teach us as people? What did it teach us? Never judge a book by its cover. Don't believe none of these new people. They don't know what the hell they talking about. And always be prepared. When we were kids, dude, I grew up in the projects. Okay? I grew up in 4101 South Federal. A Flow, 802. We were poor, but we weren't that poor. Why? Because we had a village. My mom, my grandparents, my aunties, my uncles, we all lived in the same house. The girls had their room. And the boys, they had their room. And my oldest uncle, he had just moved out. He was 20 years older than me. He was 20 when I was born. So by the time I knew him, I didn't know him as a teenager or a kid. I never even saw pictures of him. So he ended up moving when I was a kid. My oldest uncle, but I saw him every weekend. We used to have Sunday dinners. Everybody would come home for Sunday dinner. And we didn't know what poor was because we had no sense of money. So kids really don't know unless they're going through it. Every Christmas, I'm the oldest grandchild. So every Christmas, like it was like 3 of us as grandchildren. It was like me, my cousin D, and his sister Erica. So it was just really 3 of us at first. And we were getting all the gifts. I would have 30 gifts. Like literally 30 gifts for Christmas. I'm serious. 30 gifts for Christmas. So this was my norm. And right next door, 2 doors down, there's a kid who didn't get anything for Christmas. Because his family... So everybody go to school about what they got for Christmas. We're unaware that these guys got nothing. Because they didn't have anything. So they would just steal. Because they didn't have anything. They didn't have the structure we had growing up, where our character meant something as a family. We didn't consort with a lot of people in there. We hung out mostly, it was family. We hung out with our cousins. We wasn't too many outsiders. Everybody had like about a handful of friends, but was no real outsiders. Everybody was considered family. If they was a friend, they were considered family. We didn't deal with outsiders. That's how you have a community of a bond that don't break. That even when they get away from the household, they still carry those values and rules everywhere they go. We didn't have that. We didn't play that structure in that house. That was not gonna happen. That was not gonna happen in that household. And the last thing I would do is disrespect them in that manner. My parents. It meant something to me to walk home to something like that and have them upset with me. I couldn't live that down. If they were livid at me for something, I'll be ticked off. Because I got to live with whatever I did that messed them up. But when you live in a house where your mama don't care what you do, I had friends that at 8 and 9 years old, their mother would send them out to go get something to eat. Like, well, ain't nothing in the house, so y'all got to go out. Like, I would go over their house. They would open their refrigerator. It wasn't even a pitcher of water there. And she'll be yelling like, fill that water up. Fill that pitcher up and put it in the refrigerator. You know I like my cold water. So she'll get mad at them for not putting the doggone thing in there. They'll go there and open it up and she'll be like, ain't no food in there. Go and eat at one of y'all friends' house. Or go outside and just get y'all something to eat. Y'all figure it out. She did this like every day. But as I noticed, she was a single mom. She ain't have her family with her. Her baby daddy in jail. She ain't had no family over there. So it was just them. So he turns to crime. So he turns to a life of crime. What do you think happens to everybody else? Right? If he turns into a life of crime. Nobody gonna say, man, well, how did he grow up? What was his lifestyle like? This is what he was born into. So how the hell could I judge him? You don't see me sticking my chest out talking about, I didn't do any crime. I'm not supposed to do crime. But if I grew up in his situation, shit, I'd be a criminal. I'd be a criminal before I knew what a crime was. So when you're judging people and being judgmental based on your environment, put yourself in their shoes. What would you do? That person was victimized since he was born. No. Now I ended up settling on the house that was close to all of that stuff. As you can see, I live close to everything. Jordan House is over here, where he won championships from, famous Jordan House. So everything's over here. Anybody who's, hey, how you doing? Anybody who's a fan of Jalen Brunson, Jalen Brunson was on the next block over. That's where they live. Him and Rick. He was Mr. Illinois, like the #1 basketball player in Illinois. And he was ranked 31 in the country, or 33 or something like that. Like when they do the all NBA McDonald's team, he was ranked 31 out of all basketball players. And he was the 33rd pick in the draft. Well, most people don't think that way. You gotta apply yourself. You can get anything you want in this world. Man, do you know what I used to have to go through? Y'all got everything at your fingertips. All y'all kids, man, I'm like, I had to go to the library. Hey, I had to go to the library to do stuff. Y'all don't have to go to the library. Y'all can just go right online. That's black guy, mixed kid, his white wife. You know, he looked at me with this disappointment. I'm like, dude, you chose her. He said, don't look at me. I said, hey, she's not pretty. I could see if he had him a dime or something. Jeez, this ain't even a quarter or a nickel. She was in the back of all them. Like, y'all go ahead of me. Jeez. Well, you love the one. She's probably half of a penny. But you love who you love, right? You love who you love. And that's that. That was funny. He just looked at me and with total disgust. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Hey, what's up? Like, oh my God, my property value's going down now. There's another black guy in here. How did they let him in? I am the only guy in this community who has a house by himself. The only one. Now, they have families, like everybody else has a family. It might be one breadwinner who could pay for everything. But what I've learned from the town meeting, I'm a one of one. They're like, you are a one of one, sir. You're the only one over here. Like, why do you have such a big house and it's just you? It's like, my family come in town. My family's growing, got a big family. I like them to have a place to come and be able to be at home. What's wrong with that? Oh, no, nothing, sir. I mean, your stuff is paid on time. I mean, thank you. What do you want from me? No, as an investment, I was thinking of buying a house and renting it out and making it like a pod house. You know, make a couple of LLCs and just rent the house out to everybody. But somebody bought that house. And I was looking at it because I wanted to know how bad the house really was and what kind of shape it was in. Because they love to talk about black folks. White folks destroy a house, boy. Jesus Christ, they do. They don't tear a house to its final compound. Then if they had dogs, normally all of them do. Dog then been everywhere and peed all on the wood and all kinds of. You don't even want to know. Yeah, it'd be bad. And they got one house. One. In the neighborhood. That's completely off the grain, off the charts. Everything bad. It's like the Addams family lived there. I swear to you. Think I'm joking. This is it. It's a beautiful house. It's getting destroyed by decay. Look at it. No one's been here. I guess someone cut the grass. Basketball court is ruined. The guy here from the story that I've heard from the house on Horror 5, or a house at level 5, is that this house was a beautiful house and the Addams family next door. That's why this guy's house is immaculate next door. His house is perfection because he said I can't let that house bring my value down. But he's like, I'm living next to two sloppy people. See how nice that man's house is? Now look at the other neighbor right next to him. See how the grass is dying and wild and all next to it. They got people that live here though. They just sloppy. So you got that house, you got these people who just slop up everything. And now, they don't care about anything. They got too much yard to deal with. House falling apart. So then you have nice people again. So your house represents your character of who you are. If you don't care about your house, normally you don't care about yourself. And then they live next to nice people. Fortunately, I'm surrounded by two people that do nothing every day but work on their house. So that forces me to have to get up and have stuff done to the house. I can't afford to be slacking. If they ain't slacking, I can't be slacking. So that's the way it's gotta go. Now, we stay moving along. We keep it moving. Now, what I don't do is consort with a lot of the neighbors. The less they know, the better. Because they ain't all your friend. They be the one trying to call the HCA and we got to get this community together. We got to get them out of the neighborhood. Coming in your house with welcoming gifts. Ain't nobody welcome me. I see them go over. Hi, here's my dish. Now one of them walked up to me. I was like, all right, F y'all too. I remember the one guy thought I was visiting. He thought I was actually visiting. Like, oh, you visiting people over here? Yeah. Oh no, I live here. Oh, with your parents? No, it's my house. Oh, okay. Yeah, hey, that's good. Yeah, so maybe, your parents. No, my parents don't live here, bro. Yeah, because it be your neighbor, they get a little too friendly. Some of them. And then they start telling you what you need to be doing. Oh, they start right off with the BS. I swear to God. Nobody gonna tell you what you need to be doing more than a neighbor. Oh yeah. Hey neighbor. Yeah, I was just saying, you might want to start trim that tree. Yeah, that thing's getting a little wild. Yeah, you don't want to do that because that stuff will fall out, man, and start poking you in the leg and poking other people. Yeah, I just started on mine last week. You might want to get started. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Thanks for letting me know, though. I appreciate it. But I'll be good. Oh, they love that. That's why you never want to get on the subject matter or what we call the going train of falling in line with what, like, they make a suggestion, you just follow suit. You said a tin hut. And just start following suit. Because if you do that, you've just opened Pandora's box. The moment a suggestion is made, and you follow it, oh, good, we might get a storm. The moment you follow it, oh, buddy boy, they feel they can tell you about everything then. That's when they feel comfortable making implications. See, we have some Ukrainians next door. Very nice people. Just that the women are a lot tougher than American women. And Ukrainian women are very much the protectors of the household. So anything going on house-wise, they're normally the ones that are at the foot of it. They're very territorial, like black women used to be. But more than that, they're very demanding. They put their foot down. And they impede in situations they shouldn't. Like they do things because they don't think it's a problem. But you gotta understand, you're dealing with black people. You don't just tell your friends park anywhere, especially in front of my goddamn house, blocking my entrance. And just saying, well, can't he get around still? That's not the point. You don't impede on my area. I'm somebody who don't impede on yours. Don't damn sure impede on mine, especially if you ain't talked to me. So she sent her husband and the son. They came flying over. Oh, we're sorry. My friend has no. I was like, oh, it's cool. I just didn't know who he was. So if it wasn't one of y'all, their car was finna get towed. But I was like, hey, it's what it is. Like when there was a white van parked in front of my house, I was like Tony Montana. If that white van is there another hour, I'm gonna blow that motherfucker back to Colombia. That white van was out of here. I'm like, oh, Drake is sending white vans. White vans outside my house, real subtle, guys. I was like, okay, you want a white van play? I got something just for that white van. Yeah, so that went left for them. But yes, if you already my Patreon members, go on to Patreon. You're going to have a lot of fun today because we got a lot of good stuff hidden. Forgot. It's like my Patreon room. My office has become like the Patreon office. So this is some Patreon stuff here when we talk business. We were talking about the start of technology and where we're going to be in 2035 with AI technology and how we're getting there. What to look for, all of those things. So if you want to hear business advice and good business points, things that make sense to the common man, this is what we discuss. So anyway, I'm going to get into that with my Patreons and start going more. We got a lot coming up. So go to the Casino for Life Patreon, become a member. Yes, happy belated 50th to AI again. You see on my wall, Jordan Love, Dr. J, Terry Cummins, Devin Hester, Bo Jackson, Antonio Freevis. That's my guys. You know, they come up from my era. So, gotta give them love. So, on One Crack News, we are going back to the relationship talk. Got a lot of questions for people that are in relationships. So, we doing a lot of work here. We keep the grind moving. We multitask very well. I'm out. Shouts out to Kwame Brown. I saw Jersey Ye in here earlier. So I saw him pop up. So shouts out to him. Shouts out to Welcome to HDII TV with the WNBA talk. He had me crack it up the other day. Watching HD crack it up. That live stream was fire. Sports talk with Jose Rodriguez. I gotta go check on Jose, see how his page doing. Too Raw for TV doing his thing out there as well. So yeah, we out.